Hey there everybody, welcome back to the channel, or indeed if you are new to the channel, welcome along. My name is Andy, the Uncommentator, and in this video I'll be playing through the arcade mode on Tekken Tag, or Tekken Tag Tournament to give it its complete moniker. So we'll call it T cubed from now on. Anyway, this is the fourth video in a little mini-series we've got going on the channel at the moment, where I'm playing through all the Tekken games from the PS1 through to the PS2 and just doing quick playthroughs of the arcade mode. So let's get straight on with it for this fourth video of the series. Now, I believe in the past few videos, or may have just done this mentally, I've speculated on the roster for this game. Now, you can see here we've unlocked all the characters, so the question marks are not missing characters. So we've unlocked all the characters, but it doesn't appear that all the characters that have appeared in Tekken games up to this point are available to play as there's no Dr. Boskonovich, and Gon has, well, he's gone, basically. So there may be one or two others missing, but those certainly are. Anyway, we need to select our team before we run out of time. So we're going to go for Yoshimitsu and Anna Williams. So that's the first opponent there, and it is Wang and Kuma. So we could call them Kuma Wang, you know, because it sounds a bit like boomerang. It also sounds a bit rude. But anyway, I thought, in fact, you know what? We'll do that all the way through the video. We'll come up with some team names for our opponents, because why not? And if I think of a team name for my team, I'll maybe go for that one as well. I'm not really sure what you could call Yoshimitsu and Anna at this point, but yeah, we'll have a think. Anyway, so speaking of teams, I was thinking when before I started recording this video, thinking back to when I played this game when I was a kid, and I can't remember. Well, I say I can't remember. I can't remember. I'm pretty certain that you don't face the same teams all the time. Now, that would make sense to keep the game sort of fresh, but in some ways I kind of wish that you face in some ways it'd be good to face consistent teams. Like, I mean, I'm not sure who certain characters would pair with, but for example, if you think, like, I don't know the backstory of all the Tekken characters, but if you think some of the characters are almost intrinsically linked with others, and it'd be cool if they sort of formed a proper, almost air quotes, proper tag team. That's kind of what I was getting at with this random thing I said earlier. That's what I was getting at. So it'd be interesting if instead of facing random pairings, you did face sort of proper teams. Because if you think, I was thinking though, who would be a proper team? So you've got some easy ones, like for example, I know we've picked Yoshimitsu, which therefore means we can't face him. And also the human character, who the human character picks will dictate the opponents to some extent. But I suppose Yoshimitsu's obvious partner would be Kunimitsu in my mind. Then you've got ones like King and Armor King. I think they're different people, aren't they? I don't think Armor King is King with armor on. I think they are different people. But again, I'm not that clued up on the backstory of the Tekken characters. I mean, there's one or two other obvious ones. I think Ling Xiaoyu and Kuma would be a good pairing. That would be nice. Obviously, Kunimitsu in this fight is teamed with Hwarang, so we need a team name for these, don't we? So we're gonna go for, let me think. I don't know, Ginger Ninja, something like that. That could maybe work. So yeah, Anna and Yoshimitsu versus Ginger Ninja in the second fight. I don't think I've missed it. I suppose Alex and Roger would be an interesting team, even though you almost can't pick them as a team because they're the same button. If that makes any sense. So if they're the same button on the menu, then maybe you shouldn't be able to fit them as a team. Likewise, Kazuya and Devil. I think Kazuya becomes Devil, doesn't he? So therefore, you shouldn't really be able to pick them as a team. You could apply the same as Ogre and True Ogre. So yeah, but I think I've made that point. But it would be interesting to think of, you know, facing proper teams all the time rather than just random pairings. But it would obviously get repetitive pretty quick if that were the case. Also, we could think of team names for those teams, but I can't think of. I don't think we need to worry about that too much at this point. What we do need to worry about is getting a butt kicked by Hwarang. Managing to fight back now, although Stu will tag out to Kunimitsu at the next juncture, which of course he does. So, you just get this fight won, and then we're already on to Battle 3. I think this is an 8-round playthrough, and I may be wrong. Some games are 8, some games are 10, I believe. Not sure if there's any that are a different number. That's the second battle one, so nice and easy so far. As we move on now to Ling Xiaoyu and Roger. So this is an interesting one. Not quite sure what you'd call this team name. Something, trying to think of some kind of marsupial pun, or I mean, ruin you. That's terrible, but it's the best I've got at this point. But no, no, I'm gonna struggle with this one. I'll try and think of something while we're playing through. So this is the I do quite like this game actually, because I was thinking back to when I played all these Tekken games when I was a child before recording this series. I seem to think that this game was probably my favourite, because you don't get many fighting games other than, I suppose, a wrestling game, which is not really a beat 'em up style game. It's obviously a wrestling game. They're the only sort of fighting-ish games where you team up. There's very few. I can't think. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not clued up on the entire history of beat 'em up video games, but I can't think of many others where you actually team with somebody. So, for example, I think of like Mortal Kombat, and I don't know, Virtua Fighter, Soul Blade, Primal Rage. If anyone's heard of that, I can't think of a tag mode on any of, or a 2-on-2 mode on any of those, or Street Fighter, which I should have said before I said Soul Blade. But I'm interested if those features did occur in other games, which is I think why I like this game, because like I said, it's the only one that you really get the option to do the tagging on. And of course, if you could tag on Mortal Kombat, it would be Kitana. Well, Kitana and one other. I'm not sure it would be, but it would obviously be Kitana, because she's awesome. Although I say she's awesome, I am absolutely atrocious at Mortal Kombat. So that is one game that will never appear on this channel. In fact, to be honest with you, all the ones I've said probably never will. Maybe Virtua Fighter, but I highly doubt it, to be honest with you, because it's not. It's okay, but it's not the greatest game in the world. I've actually got it for the Mega Drive / Genesis and the Saturn, believe it or not. For those of you that care about things like that. Anyway, I am rambling because this fight's taking way longer than it probably should, but we've got there in the end, and we didn't think of a team name, which is a shame. So on to Kazuya, who's not teaming with Devil or Hiachi, which I think actually would be a more logical team. It's Kazuya and Bruce. So what do we call these two? So we've got a kickboxer and a Japanese guy that can turn into a devil. So I don't know. Devil may. Is there a word that begins? Is there a word that rhymes with Prada or cry that we can turn into a pun? I don't know really. Bruceless. They're Bruceless if we beat them. Yeah, struggling with this. So this idea of coming up with team names isn't going very well, which is exciting. It's going about as well as this fight is, because Kazuya's kicking my butt at the minute. But hopefully we can fight back with any luck. Okay, well that's a good start. So we need to win 2 straight here, otherwise we've lost already. Now this gear that Anna's got on is actually the unlockable attire from Tekken 3. So if anyone's watched the Tekken 3 video, or if anyone just knows this, there are a few attires that can be unlocked on Tekken 3 for a few of the characters. So Ling Xiaoyu, I think it's Ling Xiaoyu, Jin, obviously Anna, Gunjak, and sort of Eddie if you class Tiger as an attire. And the unlockable, excuse me, the unlockable attire for Anna is this zebra print sort of jumpsuit type thing, which is fun. And actually on this game, this is the first Tekken game where you can actually pick. Each character has 4 skins rather than 2. I'm pretty sure up to this point, all the characters had 2 skins from the PS1 games, but on this one, they have 4. So Anna's 4 attires are a blue dress, a red dress, which she looks pretty cool up in, this zebra print jumpsuit type thing, and then the other attire is this weird sort of orange shorts and sort of camo type thing. I'm not really sure what it is. I don't know I don't know each character's all 4 skins. I can't remember all of them. I suppose the Alex and Roger thing. I think it's Roger in red boxing gloves, and then Roger in blue boxing gloves, and then just the reverse for Alex. I believe they're the four skins there. Maybe I should have used a different word. Well, I'll edit that out. Don't worry. Let's move on. So that's one feature that's appeared on this game. Now, this is going well. I think I'm about to lose here. Actually, I'll stop talking about skins and how many of them there are. Come on, you need to get my head back in the game here, because I've totally distracted myself. Although we've managed to recover pretty well here, and somehow cling on and win. And I still haven't thought of a team name. So 4 fights in, we've thought of 2 team names and 2 not team names. So on to stage 5, up against Armour King, who's not teaming with King, and Lee, or is it Lay? I think it's Lee. I think Lee. Was it Lay? Lee or Lay? I don't know. You know, call him Lee King, because it sounds like the word leaking. And it's better than nothing, I suppose. Anyway, what I was going to say was about the features. So as I said, this is the first game where you can pick 4 attires, I believe. And we've kind of been looking at features that have appeared when they appear within the Tekken games. Well, that was a nice move. That was a very good move. Like an All Japan 1990s style move there, potentially. That was a bit of a nerdy thing to say, but I don't care. Anyway, so yeah, talking about the features that have and when they appeared within Tekken games. So I think this is the first Tekken game where you can do the sort of kip up. So you get knocked to your feet. You get knocked to your feet. You get knocked to the ground. You get knocked off your feet, I should have said. And you can sort of kip back. You can sort of kip back up to your feet rather than having to sort of roll. If that makes any sense whatsoever. I don't know if we've seen it at this point in any of the fights, either myself or the AI. I'm not sure. I won't see it there because we've just knocked him out. But yeah, this was the first game with kip ups, I believe. In terms of other features that appeared, so obviously we've lost the real world based arenas, so we're not in Fiji or wherever some of the other features were in Tekken 1 and 2. We're still kind of in just random, I would say almost generic, sort of random settings. I mean, we had one in the schoolyard earlier, didn't we? I think me and Julio were there to watch that fight, but we're just on some kind of, looks like a, I don't know, is it a helipad? It looks like a giant wrestling ring with a mesh floor, but I'm sure it's not that. Some kind of control tower, potentially. So that was, in terms of, so the only feature I can think of is the kip up that I think came into this game. Although one feature that is on this game that isn't on any of the others, and that's because of the tag option, is the way the health works. So if you look at the health bar, well, we'll look at it in the next fight because this fight's just ended. So Lee King have gone. What are we going to do about that? That was a terrible joke. And we're now on to a team of Bayek and Eddie. Now, did I say Bayek and Hwarang earlier when I was saying about proper, air quotes, proper teams? Because I think Bayek trained Hwarang, I may be wrong. Anyway, so if you look at the health bar on this fight, so you can see there Bayek's health is dark red and light red. Now, you could almost look at that as sort of permanent damage and then temporary damage. So when you tag out, like Bayek just has, if you look behind Eddie's bar, you can see the light red health disappearing and turning back to blue. So that's one feature that only appears on this game. I suppose you could have had it on a one-on-one, any of the Tekken games where it's just one-on-one, but I suppose it kind of makes sense that, you tag out and then you recover. If you're in a real fight, or if you're in a real 2-on-2 fight, if you were the guy that wasn't girl that wasn't fighting person, then you would be recovering. So I suppose it kind of makes sense. But yeah, that's the only time that feature appears is on this within this series, is on this game, where as I said, I suppose you look at it where the red's permanent, the dark red's permanent, so the light red's temporary. If you look at it, you can look at it like that. Well, the pogo stick attack was working. Anyway, we need a team name for these two, so let's go for, I don't know what we think. Eddie, God, what's his name? Gordo, isn't it? He's Capwara, I don't know how you say that word. I've probably just butchered it, so I do apologise. If anyone does know how to say it. Bayek is Taekwondo, I believe. Did they do headlocks in Taekwondo? Because I was going to say headlocks and dreadlocks was going to be the team name I came up with. So we'll go with that, why not? let's say they do headlocks just to just for the purposes of this team name. One thing they do is the same kick over and over again, but I've just literally ran through him with my sword, so literally travelled through a bit of osmosis there to get back into this fight. Well, I have to say it isn't going as well as the first fight between these two teams did. Headlocks and Dreadlocks versus Yoshimitsu and Anna. I still haven't got a team name for that. I was going to say Beauty and the Beast, but Yoshimitsu, he's not really a beast, is he? I suppose it would be... If it was Beauty and the Beast, I'd be team with... that went well. I'd be team with Kuma. Potentially. We've already... Or True Ogre. Actually, no, True Ogre would be a better one, wouldn't it? Would be a better one for that team name. Anyway, I need to win this fight, so try and concentrate. Come on, Hammer. With your zebra print attire. No zebras were harmed in the making of that attire, hopefully. We've seen a bear and a kangaroo were harmed, though, in the making of this video. And hopefully we're now going to harm a Brazilian dude. Come on. We can do this. So these frequent tags, sometimes the frequent tags can work and sometimes they can't. Like if you get sort of caught on your way in like that, it's almost a bit of a waste of a tag. But we'll go back to the pogo because it seems to be working. Seems to be working pretty well. But they do seem to be blocking a bit more than they were in the earlier fights. Just thinking, actually, I was thinking back to the menu, the character select menu. Oh, there we go, we've won. So we'll finish that story in a second. So on to stage. Oh, this is interesting. Now this is an interesting team because I think what's happening here is we're up against Brian and Nina. And I said earlier, I think there's 8. I think it's an 8-stage arcade run through this. So the fact that this is Battle 7 makes me even more confident with that. As we go for a... Ooh, that was a nice one, wasn't it? I've been trying to do that for quite a few fights now. That's the first I've actually managed to hit it. And with how much damage it's done, you can see I've been trying to go for it. And if I'd hit it a few more times on this run, I'd probably we've got through a bit quicker. But anyway, like an All Japan 1990s All Japan German suplex. But anyway, yeah. So this team here, I think it's the semi-final fight, and the reason why is because I believe who we're facing here is the human player's mortal enemies teaming up. So Anna and Nina, you would think are intrinsically linked, but I think they hate each other. I think it's more of a I wish you'd died in the womb sisterhood relationship rather than you know, let's come round and talk about our relationship and watch, I don't know, Gilmore Girls, is that a thing? I've probably been really sexist there, I don't care. Anyway, I realise the womb comment, out of context, that sounds ridiculous, but hopefully at least one person knows what I'm talking about with that. But anyway, by the way, other TV shows available other than the one I mentioned. So, yeah, it's more that type of relationship. So I wouldn't expect them to be a team if we're doing the whole, you know, real team sort of thing. And also, I don't know why, but I do know that Brian Fury is Yoshimitsu's enemy, and I'm not really sure why. I'm also not sure what to call this team. So, I suppose if Brian's hair's blonde, which I have to say on this animation it looks the same colour as Nina's. So if Brian hair's blonde, we'll call them the premium blondes, maybe, or I don't know. Yeah, premium blondes. We'll just call them that. That's actually a team I've used before on a different game. Or, I think it was, I don't know if anyone's heard of this game, but EWR, I made up a team. I think it was Taryn Terrell and Kelly. It was definitely Taryn Terrell and somebody with blonde hair. And when I thought of the premium blondes, I was pretty pleased with that. The more you know. Anyway, on to the 8th battle. So this is a really weird boss battle against a character called, as you can see there, Unknown. So the gimmick here is, now Unknown doesn't actually have a tag partner. So I suppose you could argue the floating wolf thing is a tag team partner, but it doesn't have a tag team partner. So But you can see there the temporary health, the red health is recovering, despite the fact that he, she, it can't tag out. I don't like the floating wolf. There's a she-wolf floating next to... Anyway, well, this is going pretty well so far. I'd say going much better than I anticipated, considering how the few of the struggles that we've had getting to this point. Now, the gimmick with Unknown, apart from the health recovering, is she changes characters all the way through, so it's a bit like Mokujin or Tetsujin. The only difference is Mokujin and Tetsujin, I believe they stay the same character all the way through a fight, whereas this character changes. I don't know when it changes. I don't know what spurs her to change, but she won't be changed anymore. I don't know if it's time. I don't know if it's time determined or if it's just after so much damage. But she won't be changed anymore because we've knocked her out. So that is the end of that. Now the other thing I was going to say is with her, you've got to get the dark red health to the end of the bar to get the win, not just the light red like you do with the others. But anyway, it doesn't matter now because we've won, and that is all that matters. And that is the end of this video. So if you enjoyed this video, then please like and share the video. You can also leave a comment on the video, should you choose to do that. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, if you do leave a comment, then let me know some of the... Try and think of some team names for the teams we've faced. And also, suggest some Tekken teams and suggest 2 characters who could team up together and you know, what their team name would be called. That'd be pretty cool to read all those. So yeah, leave a comment if you want to, or say anything else, say anything you want really. But I think that'd be pretty cool to read some of those. Anyway, let's carry on with saying goodbye. So while you're here on YouTube, if you head on over to the channel, The Uncommentator, you'll find the rest of the videos in this playlist when they eventually appear. You'll also find a myriad of other content on the channel now. We've got a nice big portfolio even, building up plenty of different games for you to check out. So please go and do that. Yeah, that's it really. So join me next time. We're going to be moving on to the 5th video in this series, which is Tekken 4, so slightly confusing. But we're back to one-on-ones for that one. But until we get to that point, for now, from me at least, it is sayonara.